Hello and happy Tuesday, May 30th. We're almost into June. Ugh. That means a couple of different things. It means we're on our way to probably one of the bigger Junes movie wise in quite a while. I'm looking forward to just that's about everything that's coming out. We have Transformers coming out. We're going to be doing a screening for that on the 5th. We have Spider Man Across the Spider Verse. I'm going to be doing a private in store promotion, taking some customers to the movies on Fridays to see that. Obviously, we have The Flash, which I have seen already, and I cannot wait for you guys to see. And then we got a couple other movies throughout. We got, like The Little Mermaid is out. I have no use for that. I will not be seeing that. Barbie is coming out, same category. There's a couple other movies that are coming out that are flying under the radar that I'll be going to see. But right now, this is the big heavier portion, and then after that, it kind of thins out, and then we kick back in going into Dune 2 or Dune Part 2, which is one of my most anticipated movies of the year. So, welcome to the Sci-Fi Center Live, the Midnight Express version. This is basically a really, really quick check-in with you guys. No specific topic unless you guys bring one up, and we'll go from there. Let me say hi to the chat and answer some of the questions that are already there. How you doing, Anthony? And I knew you would have one waiting for me. William, do you think the perception of comic book movies by the Academy gets hurt when these Academy Award-winning directors make comments? Not necessarily. To be quite honest with you, and this is aside from their boneheaded comments, and there's their comments. That's their opinions. They love to have them. Not very many comic book movies in general have been that level. There have been some performances, and even then, a handful of those that have been Academy Award level. But there's not, and I'm not knocking the genre movie that I've watched the most, obviously, which is comic books and then horror, fantasy, and sci-fi after that. But when you're talking about Academy Award type of movies, that's not a criteria that the people who make comic book movies are necessarily shooting for. They're shooting for action. There's a lot of there's criteria that the Academy looks for when they award these movies, and most comic book movies just don't reach that criteria. You've had very few, in my opinion, that I could even say that would be in the running. Black Panther, Logan should have been up there. I mean, yeah, I mean, there's really, really not a lot of comic book movies that check off the criteria that are usually, so it's not as much what those directors said. It's more of what they go for. And I just don't see the very many movies that cross over into that level. There have been performances, all-time great performances that can't be denied, like both Joker performances where you have Joaquin Phoenix and you have Heath Ledger. But there are people saying that the Dark Knight should have been nominated for a best movie. I didn't think so. I didn't think it was that great a movie. I thought it was a good movie, but it's not something I would put up anywhere near that level. No. Was there an all-time great performance in it? Yes. Same thing about the Joker. I think the Joker got nominated, but the Joker was a better movie. The Joker and its performance, the title performance, reached that level. When you look at comic book movies in general, I mean, from our point of view as fans, we could probably put them up there. But if you look at them in the lexicon of all movies in general, I just don't think that that many of them have reached that level, even though there are comic book movies that I would watch 10 times over most of these unknown, no-name movies that end up winning for, whatever. But that's a different question. Whether I enjoy a movie or whether I think it's Academy Award, level type stuff. So I wouldn't even, I don't think it hurts it. I just think it's the fact that the level of movies isn't at that level yet. Like saying these movies are invaders and no real substance to them. Like I said, you can that's just one guy's opinion, to be honest with you. How you doing, Vince? William, did you see that Sasha Calle and Henry Cavill said Henry Cavill saw Flash congratulate her on her excellent performance? Calle was apparently going to be in MS2 written by Andy Muschietti. Henry Cavill is a professional, so that doesn't surprise me at all. One person playing a superhero character to another, that doesn't surprise me at all. As far as MOS2, I haven't heard anything about MOS2. I've heard things about Andy Muschietti possibly writing Brave and the Bold. After seeing The Flash, I think Andy Muschietti is any superhero IP they give him will be in good hands. How you doing, Aaron? Yes, June is Pride Month. So I got months now. Yeah, we just finished Asian American Pacific Month, Veteran Appreciation Month, and this is Pride Month. So yeah, I know there's a parade, a couple parades here in Vegas. Yes, make sure and like and subscribe our channel, youtube.com/@the-Sci-Fi Center. Like and subscribe to both here and the Poindexter Lounge, and give us both a like. It helps Enosh and it helps me. How you doing, Tehran? Spidey, what's going on? About to see what I'm told could possibly be the best Spider-Man movie ever this Friday, so I'm looking forward to that. When it comes to the Flash cameo, Andy Muschietti revealed, which I'll leave unspoiled here. Thank you. Would you want to see them do anything further with that? Fuck no. I'm sorry. I was trying to, decrease my cuss words with my foul mouth, but that just came out. We're not going to speak anything more. Obviously, you guys, we're not going to spoil it, even though it's been everywhere. Absolutely not. No. Please no. Please no. No. William, would you consider movies like Lion King a truly live adaptation, or is it just a stop motion? I didn't see the whole movie, but I saw enough of it for it to kind of creep me out. The animation in Lion King was kind of creepy. So hold on. Hey, I'm just getting a notification that I'm live 9 minutes into the show. Oh my goodness, StreamYards. That is hilarious. All right. Well, for those of you who are just joining in, welcome to the show. Nolan trilogy is forgettable. That's what I say. People start throwing the spears at me when I say that, because Batman Begins was to me boring, and I love Christian Bale. I just don't like him as Batman. The Dark Knight, I can't watch that movie over again completely. I can watch, I just, and I have my own little compilation where I've cut it up, and it's just Heath Ledger's parts. Because none of the rest of that movie and that movie has a star power up the ass. You have 3 Academy Award winners in there, and it's Heath Ledger. Heath Ledger's all I watched that movie for. And The Dark Knight Rises is just, I don't think it was a very good movie. No, this has come out from multiple Academy Award winning directors, Scorsese, Coppola, Capra. And that's fine. Like I said, these guys are great, but they're all just each individuals with opinions. And you also have to understand that as these old fossils that vote these movies in, as they go away and are replaced by a different generation, you're going to see the dynamics of the Academy Awards start to change. And, people not watching the show unless Will Smith slaps somebody. No, we didn't have any that in Vegas, so I'm just taking a bunch of people with me on Friday night to go see it. Yeah, some people get them in different ways. Like right now, like I said, I just got, not was that sound my phone made, me getting the notification that I'm on the air 9 minutes after I'm on the air, and some people get it immediately, and some people don't get it at all. I've had people message me and are coming to the show late. And you'll see them sometimes. Hey, I just happened to be on YouTube and I saw you were live, and I'm like, how did you not get the notification? And then some people missed the show altogether, not even knowing I was on last night. They didn't get a notification. So, and then they end up watching it on the replay, which is okay. But some people want to watch it live. So. Yeah, and that's what it usually happens, and that's why I did it outside of the 30-minute round. So even if I decided to do a show inside of that, you guys would still get the notification, and yet it still does that. It's so weird. Yeah, I'm not posting any spoilers. We're going. I mean, I'm not even going to post. I don't know. I want to do a show, a spoiler review, but I want to also wait. I mean, the show. I mean, obviously it comes out on the 16th, but I want to wait until because I know not everybody can go see the movie like right when it drops. So I'll probably wait a week after. I think 7 days. So maybe the 22nd, 23rd of June, and then and start talking about it. I talked to a friend of mine in high school, and he was telling me that he just recently got diagnosed with pancreatic and throat cancer because of the work he did in the military. Ooh, ouch, that sucks. I wish your friend well. Damn, that sucks. Those are two tough forms of cancer. I mean, I will give him my well wishes, and I hope we can be talking about him from years ago. But he's got a tough battle ahead of him. How you doing, Mr. Dutchy Dutch? Welcome to the show. This is the first time I've seen you on here, so welcome to both the Sci-Fi Center Live and the Poindexter Lounge. I love Dark Knight, but I was very disappointed with Rises. I think Begins was a necessary palate cleanser. Maybe, but man, it bored the hell out of me. The work he did specifically with the military was that he was in the Navy and he was doing repairs on the big nuclear reactors and sub-aircraft carriers. Wow, that means he probably has got a class action too. Who knows? That sucks. Sort of. I'm ready to see where our pick goes because I don't think we're going to be picking it. We have Lakers have the number 17 pick. I think they're going to make a draft day trade or something to do with free agency. I just hope they don't blow up the team we have. I think that I understand the disappointment by obviously you want to win everything, but where we came from to where they ended up, if the Lakers would have had this team that they took them to the Western Conference Finals through training camp of last year and all the way through this year, they have the best record in the league as far as I'm concerned, and Denver stands no chance against them. Because even if they meet, because Denver wouldn't be the number one seed, I think the Lakers would, and they would have to. That automatically changes the situation because I think Denver benefited from having the first two games on their home floor in each of these series. So I don't see a fully formed Laker team that started out in 2022 with the team that they have now getting beat by anybody in the West. I think they not only finished with the best record in the conference, I actually think they flirt with the best record in the league because we got to realize Milwaukee only won 58 games. Boston won 57 games. They're gone. And Denver only won 52 games. So if you have LeBron with this team throughout the year, I think they finish with the best record in the league, and I think they absolutely obliterate Denver if all things were equal. But they weren't. Lakers only had 26 games to play with this team and all kinds of stuff, and they still made it to the Western Conference Finals. So. Like I said, I don't think it's anything to write home about other than Heath Ledger's all-time great performance. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people, that was their first live-action Batman. It's like, ooh. How you doing, Trina? So judging to your reaction to that cameo, bad, are you just not over the moon about that particular Superman? I don't want to say anything more because if I say anything more for people who don't know and have been staying off the internet or to the point where they don't know that cameo, because my next words will give it away. So, William, should Charlotte Hornets trade their second pick in first round and get another talent? Yeah, because they, like Minnesota and some of these other teams, they're not getting free agents. All right, Karl-Anthony Towns is probably going to get either traded or bolt. Minnesota. So you're either going to have to trade for a big star and hopefully you can re-sign him because he has his bird rights and then get other people to come with you, or you're just going to have to draft somebody and hope that they turn out right. And you got, not everybody's going to be a LeBron James and come out and be a phenomenon. These people still got to learn to play big boys basketball in the NBA. So you're going to suck for a while. So, yeah, I think they should. because nobody's coming to play for that franchise. William, I disagree with you, to be honest. I don't think even the Lakers were healthy. They would have been a top seed in the West. I think Eddie. No, they would have been. All you have to do, Anthony, is look at the rate of games that they won from the day that they acquired their new team at the trade deadline and see where they were in every rating. They had won more games than anybody in that time period. And that was with them getting used to the team. And some of those games were without LeBron. They were in 13th place when they acquired all those players that they traded for. And they made it to 7th. And they made it to the Western Conference Finals. Had that team been together for the entire year, they would have been a top seed. That's to me, that's an easy one. And like I said, Denver not being the top seed would have fallen onto the other side of the bracket. They could have fallen even lower. But if the Lakers have that team together and they're not gassed from having to go from 13th to 7 in that sprint run to get to the playoffs, they finished with the best record in the league, in my opinion, and they absolutely annihilate anybody in front of them. You saw what they did with the gas team that they had. You saw what they did with just the team being together. The team was only together for 26 games before the playoffs started. All those other teams have been together for years. Memphis had their team together for almost 6 years. Denver's been together. The team that is in the finals now is the same team that the Lakers beat 3 years ago to go to the finals themselves. All those teams had familiarity. The only team that didn't was the Lakers. So, no, I absolutely believe that if they had started the year with this team, with Rudy Hachimura, Jared Vanderbilt, D'Angelo Russell, and that's the year in training camp and everything else out. No, to me, they stomped the shit out of Denver, in my opinion. But let's go on here. Good night, woohoo. Listen, dude, I'm not from Vegas. All right. I'm here on business. I hail from the city of Angels, and my loyalty is to those teams. The only reason why I would give the Knights a sentimental favor is because 2 of my Kings players are on there that won cups with us, which is actually 3. I don't count Brandon McNabb because he didn't win a cup. Jonathan Quick, Conn Smythe Trophy winner, and Alec Martinez, who scored winning goals in championship games for us. Other than that, I'm probably not going to watch very much of the finals this year. I think the Panthers are scary, though. You look at who the Panthers have beaten to get here and look at the kind of team that they've been. They were the President's Trophy winners last year. They're really just finishing the job that they started last year. They beat what is the best team in hockey. They knocked off Boston in the first round, and they pretty much just muscled through everybody. They've been sitting at home after a 4-game sweep, and their goalie is an elite level goalie. And home ice advantage means nothing to the Florida Panthers. So it's going to be interesting to see who wins that. Like I said, this year's NBA Finals and Stanley Cup Finals, I'm going to have to force myself to watch a little bit of it. I don't care about either of these teams. So, I mean, Miami Heat, yay. They got rid of Boston, so they're on my good side. I think this is going to be one of the lowest rated NBA Finals in history. I think this is going to compete with the seller for the 2003 Nets and Spurs final, which was so bad that they were legitimately debating on talk shows if it should be radio only. That's where I think this NBA Finals is going to go. I don't think anybody cares about these two teams enough to really watch it, and that's why, Boston, if Boston would have came back, you would have had the story of them winning their 18th championship or trying to do it, and you would have had a somewhat major market involved. Nah, this time. And as far as Stanley Cup Finals, no one ever watches the Stanley Cup Finals anyway. But I think this year is going to be specifically tough. Vegas is not that big a city. We're not a large market at all. There is no such thing as a Vegas television market. It was the LA TV market before Vegas Golden Knights got here, And the only reason why I can't watch the Kings and stuff play is because Vegas is here. But LA has 50 million people in their greater LA area, and Vegas was that LA market. But when the Golden Knights got here, they took them off our TV. But their viewership is maybe about a tenth of what a major city team is. But so I don't know how many people are going to be watching that. But like I said, everybody always asks me, I live in Vegas. Why am I a Knights fan? Because I already have a team. So there you go. Begins actually had an accurate looking Gotham, and Dark Knight that made Gotham look generic. I didn't notice the city on both. I think the Batman actually did a way better job of making the city relevant than any of that one does. Finch kid looks good, yeah. But he'll go Wambala, yeah. William, do you think that even if the Heat wins the title, Riley makes a big move like trying to get Lillard or Gar? Nah, he can't afford him. That's the problem with Damian Lillard is his contract is so huge. You'd have to – the way NBA trades work, it's dollar for dollar. So if you're going to trade for Damian Lillard's $50 million a year salary, then you're going to have to give up that much. And you basically would have to gut your team to bring in a guy to replace people on a team that has got you to the NBA Finals. So no, I don't think Bob Riley would do that. How about the A's? 10-45, 182 winning percentage, the worst season in modern NBA history was the 19th Philadelphia A's, and they finished with 220. Well, yeah, the A's are pretty much given up on that city and their fans. They're on their way to Vegas. How you doing, Jacob? Batman Begins is the best. As great as Heath Ledger was, and Dark Knight Begins was more Batman focused. It was, but man, was it boring. All right, side pill. Yeah, Miami is the first seed, and then the first one in the play-in. We had the thing about this play-in, and I was wholeheartedly against it when they first put it in because there's just more games for people to get injured. But if you look at the Final Four, there were two play-in teams, and one of them made it to the final. So, what about Jonathan Humanga for Golden State Warriors for Charlotte Hornets second-round pick, and the first round because Jonathan is getting less playing? If they're going to make a trade, they're going to have to make a big trade. Once again, you have to get a domino effect character or player to say, I want to go play along that side. And then right now, they just don't have anything. And I don't think that would be enough. Well, I thought of Martin Scorsese had met with the Pope and announced he would make a film about Jesus. Doesn't surprise me at all. Thought of Anthony Chichetti when asked about the direction he would go and if he directed his own Batman movie. I don't think I can talk about that yet. Probably in talks to get it. He may never get it, but he's probably in negotiations. And they probably want to wait to see how the Flash does. But like I said before at the beginning of the stream, I don't think you could put it in better hands than Manny Muschietti right now, having seen the Flash. I think he'd be great. He has shown me that he knows how to handle this level of character. So I'd be very excited to have him in there. I think what you said about the Flash should be leveraged in many different directions. It's strengthened by the fact that Across the Spider-Verse is so hyped. It's also, yeah, and like I said, and that's for all those guys who are like, it's going to be too confusing. Oh, my God, they can't have that. They'll be competing with themselves, and nobody will understand it. Yeah, that is bullshit. All right? That is absolute stacked to the sky horse crap. You're about to see more Spider-Man than I've ever seen anywhere. From everywhere in different universes. And there's not going to be anybody that goes into that movie that's going to walk out not understanding what's going on or going to be so miffed that they won't go do the research or they wouldn't go see it again. So, yeah. Every excuse I've heard not to pursue multiple universes has been dumber than the last one I hear. The confusion one is the dumbest one. You can't have. How can you have a Superman when he's going to be doing James Gunn is going to be doing his Superman? He's going to be competing with himself. People are going to be confused. If you're a dummy, yeah. If you're a dummy, you'll be confused about that. If your storyteller is a dummy, then he'll confuse you with that. given the talent we're talking about right now, and given the fact that I'm a fan, I'm not an idiot, and the fans I know aren't idiots, I don't think we're going to have that problem. That is a made-up obstacle for pundits and hangers-on on pundits. That is not a real excuse, and it's been the one that people who should know better, who are executing in these roles as executive producers, showrunners, studio heads, have bought into, and it is stupid. You have wasted potential on something that DC created by not exploiting it. And I hope that James Gunn, especially having seen this movie, it becomes the first one to exploit that to its end. Because there's just piles of cash being left on the table. Not just for Snyderverse stuff, for anything. But yeah. So yeah, you're about to see a multiverse movie and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, which I'm hearing is the best Spider-Man movie. And yet we're still over here with DC, and we got people who watch DC and criticize DC and go up in arms at the idea that you can continue an established universe somewhere else while you're going forward with someone else. Those same people will go see Spider-Verse and wrap their head around that, but they won't be able to comprehend something like that. Your audience isn't that stupid. They will get it. I hope James Gunn exploits the multiverse and does concurrent storylines. I hope he does one-shot alternate universe Elseworld stories, and I hope he does concurrent Elseworld stories. You know what? You haven't even challenged your fan base to see if this would work or not. All right, I expect pundits and YouTubers and Twitter heads to say stupid things and to bounce stupid things off of each other. That's just the nature of the beast. But none of those guys are running the show. When you're running the show, you got all the levers. Give it a shot, Damn. All right, going to root for Denver since they've never won. Well, they've never won because they've never been that good. I mean, until just recently. And be honest with you, if they don't win this year, now you start rolling up. You got a lot of guys with a lot of money that, may want to go play for a bigger market. Never know. William thought on Dave Filoni hinted that Ahsoka Tano is still alive during episode 9 or Rise of Skywalker. Haven't been paying attention to that side of fandom lately. Very well true. Makes Windu, I hope, is out there too. Also, I remember in Empire Strikes Back, Luke spoke through the Force to Leia. Vader also does this at the end of episode 5. They're a minus 300, which is ridiculous. I don't think they're that much better. And I think if you look at the matchups, this is going to be a team that is going to give them matchups in places that the other teams that Denver had played did not. Lakers would have been, but once again, the dilapidated gas team that you saw in the Western Conference Finals is a little bit different because they spent too much time just getting in. Now, Miami, you can say the same thing, but Miami had more of their core intact for the whole year. The Lakers, not only were they gassed, they were getting used to new people. Defense and offense is about familiarity. You need a whole year behind you to do what they were attempting to do. That's what I thought. I identified it as Chicago. I think that or Pittsburgh somewhere. I agree with him, and I hope we're done with the Skywalker regime. No, they're not going to mess with the bird rules. It's going to be hard for luxury tax reasons, but there's other things you can do to circumvent that. They're not going to touch the Larry Bird rules. The union would strike right there because, and the owners would never go for it. As long as you have the Larry Bird rules and restricted free agency, there's not going to be significant rule changes enough for you to not be able to keep your stars. How you doing, Daniel? To your point, I like the Iceberg Lounge that was in the Batman. Yeah, I really like, dude, the Batman, the City spoke to me as an extra character. That's why it's my favorite overall movie. William Donna, HBO drama or series. HBO drama chief Francisco Arsai says HBO has no interest in making reboots good of their own shows. Even better, we'd rather find something totally new. And yeah, that's the way it should be. William, if that's big, Mace will survive that fall out of the window after his fight with Darth Maul, I believe. Do you think? Who knows? That's a tough one. Yes, there is. It is called blasphemy. There's in my world, the world that I grew up in, that is blasphemy. It makes me want to vomit in my mouth when I hear people, well, that's my other team. I just want to vomit all over you. You know, when I hear, and I hear it a lot here in Vegas, when I hear Blackhawks fans tell me, well, my team's out of it, I'm going to root for the Knights, or when the Blackhawks aren't playing, I root for the Knights. I just literally, even if I have nothing in my stomach, I want to dry heave on you. You do not endure the quest for Lord Stanley Cup, the overtimes, the one-goal games, the intensity of what it is in your city, and ever root for anybody else again. You don't go through being ripped off in Montreal with the curse stick penalty, which caused me to put a curse on all of Canada. They haven't won a cup in over 20-something years. And have to wait until 19 years later to make another final. Go through all that. Come back 0-3 against the Sharks. Go 7 games in every series in 2014, a series that actually would kill me. And then ever entertain rooting for another team. I know that's what this new generation of fan does, and it makes me physically ill. I have one hockey team. It is a team that I have lived and died with since 1985 when I first saw my first game, and that is the LA Kings. I have one basketball team. Last place, first place, seventh place, or champion, the LA Lakers. I have one baseball team. And that's the Dodgers. That's it. I've gone through too much with these fandoms. That is my team, no matter what place they're in. I do not. People who do otherwise, it's like they've landed on a UFO and they've come out from another planet, like the day the Earth stood still. You are alien to me. You may as well be from another galaxy. So, no, there's Williams' law, the law of blasphemy, of disloyalty to your team. Before Superman Legacy was announced, Anthony Muschietti and Joseph Kosinski both pitched MOC scripts with my Brainiac. Maybe they'll catch it. I really want to see Brainiac. I know I've heard a lot of things thrown around, but, I'm like, it's time for Brainiac. All right? It is time for Brainiac. William Thornton, Chris Miller says they've saved several Spider people from, yeah, I can't wait. I mean, who's left? Who is left? I don't think they do. Did you see that poster? Who's missing? You also say you thought you seen every Spider person you could possibly imagine, but not every Spider person we can imagine. I believe it. HO Parasite series still on the early side of development. Ugh. I believe it. Well, he casted him, so he obviously had a. I thought it was cool. He's moving really fast, but I thought it was cool. I love the bike too, by the way. That a lot of actors will say that. A lot of actors will say that. Is the Flash movie the first to be screened for fans, showing the version releasing somewhat different version over 3 weeks later, adding post-credit scene, possibly more footage? Possibly. I mean, I can almost guarantee you that there's going to be a post-credit scene. But as far as more footage goes, I don't know if there will be more footage added during the movie because maybe it was locked, but there could add more footage after the movie. Not sure how that works. Denver and Bora, don't bet that. I don't think either of these teams are good enough to sweep each other. I don't think Denver is good enough to sweep a fully engaged, fully equipped Heat team that has been together as long as this Heat team has been together. We're not talking about the Lakers, who overperformed. Even though the Heat, as a number 8 seed, have overperformed, the Heat were in the finals just a few years ago. And Jimmy Buckets is as long as Jimmy Butler is on that team, they're a threat to win this series, in my opinion. But Denver and 4, I wouldn't bet anything that you needed on that, dude. That's even if they win the series, I don't think it's going to be a sweep. William, if DC decides to continue that portion of the DC universe, would they put that in Elseworlds and have a sequel of Man of Steel? I don't think you're going to see a sequel of Man of Steel. I think that the best case scenario, if they were ever to continue, you may see a continuation of the world, but I don't think you're going to see a bunch of movies out of it. I think the world is more valuable to them than because with the world, if you can't get Cavill back, if you can't get these people back, but that's still that same world, you can use that world to propel other things. And all these people are saying, well, it's not Cavill, I'm not going to watch them. Don't watch. If that world continues, you can keep that world and bring other people in it. I would like to see that world, Snyder's World, used to be the basis of the feature of Legion of Superheroes down the line, and that way you could do that without corrupting whatever Gunn's doing. But I don't think we're ever going to get a sequel to Man of Steel. That's not saying you won't see Cavill again, but I don't think when people say restore the Snyderverse and they got all these movies and Man of Steel 2 and 3 and Justice League 2 and 3 and all these, I think if you ever saw it again, even in an Elseworld, you would see a consolidated storyline, a much more contained storyline, and one that they could end when they needed it to. Yeah, you guys got me there. And then have a brand new Wonder Woman, Aquaman for James Gunn, DC Universe. Yeah, because like I said, I think you could the purpose for me with an Elseworld Snyder thing would be to resolve it and end it. Keep the world there, but end that story, and then use that as the basis for other things if you want to. It's kind of like the Pocket Universe in Superman and Action Comics that they kept because the Time Trapper separated it so that he could have the Legion of Superheroes origin be based in that universe, even though Crisis had eliminated Superboy. So that's what I would do with that one. William Powell, wish Kevin Conroy was still alive, and I want him to end the live-action movie last with Mark Hamill. That would have been cool. William says, "Forever, the fans rooting for one more team or band." I can't understand it, man. I can't understand it. I have been. People think of the Lakers and they think of I have been alive for 11 titles in my lifetime. I've been alive for 11 titles with the Lakers, 2 Stanley Cups with the Kings, and 3 World Series with the Dodgers. And so a very small percentage of my life has been experiencing championships. So the majority of those years, we were coming up short. The Dodgers were in last place in 1992. The Lakers didn't make the playoffs last year. During the time between Kobe leaving and LeBron coming, we were the laughingstock. During the time where Shaq left and Kobe was just a one-man team before they won the other 2 titles with Pau Gasol, we were first-round exits. And I didn't leave my team then. The Kings have an absolutely abysmal playoff attendance record as far as making the playoffs. I'm there every year. Parade or coach firing, I'm there. And I can't see how anyone else does that. I don't see how anyone else could root for another team. Now, I might root for another team playing a team that I hate, That's different. But like, I am a one team. I am one team guy. I've lived in 11 states, so it's hard for me not to have a little sympathy for some teams that used to be in locals. I've lived in different states too. I grew up as a military kid, but nope, no excuse. Sorry. And I can pull for another team without betraying the fanship. If the Bears aren't in the Super Bowl, but the Packers are, you're damn right I'm rooting for whoever they're playing. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like the Oilers, I cannot stand the Edmonton Oilers, so I'll root for the Vegas Golden Knights to beat them. But after that, I'm not rooting for the Knights. It's just not my team. Nothing against them. It's just it's not. It's not my team. Yeah, pulling for another team is one thing. Like, if the Celtics would have made the final, any year that the Celtics make the final, I don't care who it is. If it's anybody but the Lakers, I'm rooting against that team. That goes out of, but I'm not going to, I am not loyal to that team that beats them. You see what I mean? Like, I'm not loyal to the Miami Heat because they knocked off the Heat or knocked off the Celtics. I was rooting for them to get rid of those guys, but I'm not loyal to. After our business is done, we go our separate ways. Boy, what was crazy stat after they won the Eastern Conference Finals that the first team in NHL history to have every series of the games being won by one goal. Yeah, including the 4 overtimes. I think the Knights won against LA in 2018. I think all the games were 1-goal games too. Because that was a sweep, but it was one game. Let's see. Hold on. Yeah, now every game in the 2018 final or 2018 first round was won by one game. The Kings lost 1-0, 2-1, 3-2, and 1-0. Game 2 was in 2 overtimes. And I remember that Jonathan Quick stopped 58 shots that night. So, yeah. I guess you mean conference finals wise, but yeah, there's been other series. The Villains of Superman Legacy might be the authority. I hope not, but I have to see the script to really hate it. I'd root for those playing the Packers, Daniel. I got what you're saying, unless I mistyped that. All right. The consolidated storyline with an ending is pretty much what Zach's roadmap is anyway. So it's basically like, yeah, because remember the Flash was supposed to do that. The Flash was supposed to be like the Apocalypse, or the Flash was supposed to wrap up this thing. That's why it fits so well. Cable will probably return as Kingdom Come Superman or some form of future Superman and Final Crisis type story. That'd be cool. I'd go for that. I don't know. I'm kind of tired of that storyline with him. Dom is not really connecting with me. So, all right, guys, that's it. I'm going to wrap it up because I got a big day today. So, got a big week this week. So, just wanted to swing by and say hi to everybody, answer some questions, get us set for what could be a big week. Got Spider-Man coming this week. And so I will be back. I will not be streaming tomorrow. I will be streaming Wednesday, and I will be streaming Friday. And I'm going to try to keep that schedule so as many of you as possible can kind of set your watches to it, and roughly around this time, in between 11:30 and midnight on weekdays, and then earlier on Friday and Saturday because we have the overnighter, and Sunday as well, depending on what we're doing. So I will see you guys Wednesday. And that's about it. Get some sleep. Enjoy the rest of your overnight, or for those of you who have to get up early, go to bed. See ya.